What's going on, guys? It's Saturday. I had I had intentions of doing a lot today, but it's kind of been just a mellow, real chill day. I've been kind of figuring out what the heck I have bolts for. Like, I have a lot of Downstar hardware for the build. So I was going through and kind of figuring out, all right, well, like these are for my headers, for my shocks, my coilovers, and these are for the coil packs. And I'm just trying to figure out what's what, because there's a lot. I mounted up the oil cooler. I used a nice stainless bolt to mount that up. I just put the lines in place. I put the boost controller in place, plugged it in, plugged the fan in. Just kind of little things. What I've been working on now is, as you see on this side, I just set the rockers in. So basically there's a kit that you buy from Brian Tooley Racing where you have to change. This is called a trunnion upgrade. So right now you can see that this rocker will spin, you know, all the way around. And the factory ones, they're actually limited. They're only able to rotate a certain degree because, you know, stock camshaft doesn't have that much lift, versus when you put an aftermarket camshaft in, you have a lot more lift. So if you use stock rockers with an aftermarket cam, rockers tend to break. So it's recommended that you do this kit. I'm not sure if I have to with the cam I have. It's not that crazy. But it's definitely something I was recommended, so I just bought it anyway. So what I had to do now is I just sat there installing all of these snap rings on the end. Thankfully they came with 2 extras. You can see an extra there, but thankfully they came with the extras because I'm pretty sure I launched one over there somewhere in the garage, and man, that was funny. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to lubricate the bolts like this. What I do, if I don't use like the ARP lube, I just take some motor oil and I make sure the end of the bolt is nice and lubricated like so. That way you don't have a dry seal going in, and we're all set there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rocker rail on and install the push rods. And some of you Miata guys, you guys have overhead cam, which means your camshaft is over the valves. On an LS, your camshaft is actually right here in the center, and I've shown that before. So for the valves to actually be activated by the camshaft, inside the block you have your lifters, your hydraulic lifters, and then you have what is called a push rod, which is literally 8 sticks. Now these are upgraded because I do have the double valve spring upgrade. If you use a stock push rod, you'll end up bending them. So these literally just slide right in. Nice and satisfying. It's pretty just a straight drop down on your lifter. So we'll go ahead and slide all 8 of them in real quick. Not really quick, I'm taking forever. So yeah, and of course you want to make sure, you know, they feel like they're kind of where they need to be. And right now they all feel like they fell straight on top of the lifter. So like I said, now I'm gonna go ahead and put the rocker rail on. I'm going to install all the rockers, and they're going to be torqued down to 22 foot-pounds. Alright, so I just put new valve cover gaskets on. I'm about to torque the valve cover to 106 inch-pounds. I'm just going to run them down just a little bit, and then it'll be the final torque. Alright, I think I'm gonna throw in the towel for the night. Honestly, everything I was doing today, it's all that little stuff that just adds up time and time and time. Let me get this stuff off the cowl here. It's all the little stuff, like, you know, valve cover gasket, putting the rockers on, like all the boring stuff but necessary stuff. There's something in the lens. So basically, what, like I said in this video, I went ahead, I put in all the push rods, I torqued all the rockers down, I had to put all the snap rings on, torqued the valve cover on, torqued the coil pack on this side. So since I don't have the header on this side, I didn't put the plugs or anything like that. But on this side, I actually put the coil packs on, this breather hose, everything's torqued down. Spark plugs are in and torqued to 20 foot-pounds. And also they are set to 20 thousandths on the feeler gauge, or the gap is 20 thousandths. Let me see, where is it? There it is. So I actually got this cool tool from FTY, where for you to gap a spark plug, and you take the plug out of the box, you lay the spark plug right here, you set your your feeler gauge. So the way I did mine, and what I noticed, is if I put in a 20 thousandths feeler gauge and turn it down, it'll actually go to 22 thousandths because of the spring back. So yeah, basically you set the feeler gauge like so, set it on nice and flat like that. And try to do this with one hand. You set the feeler gauge down like so. Alright, hold on. I gotta put the tripod on. Make this a lot easier to do. Alright, let's try this again. So you got your spark plug in the tool. You'll take a feeler gauge that's about 2 thousandths smaller than what your target is. You'll slide the tool in like so. Make sure it's nice and flat, and you can hold it like with your thumb. You spin the knob down. So now you can see it now, everything's resting in. And then if I back off the threads and remove the feeler gauge, you now have a gapped spark plug. So I read online, basically for me, I plan on running about 22 to 25 pounds of boost. So they say for the plugs that I got, I need to get these spark plugs. They Sloppy Mechanics recommended this. They are NGK 3346 BR7EF, and I gapped them to about 22 thousandths. They recommend anywhere from 20 thousandths to 25 thousandths, so I just put it at 20, leave it be. When I had the 4-cylinder 1.6 before, I ran these exact same coils with that setup, but those things were gapped to 12 thousandths. The gap was so tight. But yeah, kind of just a chill night. Like I said, I'm not in a rush anymore. Just kind of taking my sweet time. So the oil cooler's on, you know, the lines are tightened. Put the wiring back. The header's on. All the spark plugs are in. Like this side is done. The only thing I got to do is right there. There's a silver fitting, and that's actually going to be for water pressure. So there's going to be a little brake line made to my sensor, and that's about it. There's nothing else that goes on this side. So one half down. So I'm going to keep chipping away at it little by little. One of the things I actually do need to do is I keep putting it off. So I got to take this outside and pressure wash it. It does have a little bit of overspray from like the primer and stuff we used. But either way, I mean, just from road usage before, I mean, it just needs a bath. I got to pull everything off of there. I'm going to paint the subframe with the same paint I used to paint the roll cage, the chassis and roll bar paint from VHT. I'm going to paint the subframe and reassemble that. That way, you know, we're getting things knocked out little by little. So yeah, I'm gonna get everything situated. I'll probably put the header on tomorrow and then do the same thing I did this side. The only variable with that side that I haven't really come across yet is when I had everything fabricated, I never had head gaskets or exhaust manifold gaskets on the setup when it was fabricated, which is my mistake. So I'm hoping I won't have any issues with the steering column hitting the header. And I'm also hoping that I don't have any issues with the clearances with the header and the Y pipe coming into the turbo. So I'm kind of nervous. That's one of those things that I can't forget about, but it's definitely been kind of not my first forefront thought. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna call it for the night. I'm chilling. I'm gonna cook up my pizza. Got a little frozen pizza the other day. I'll cook that up and chill out and play Xbox tonight. So I return to work tomorrow normally, so I might work on the car and do some uploads during the week. If not, then I will post Thursday. So hopefully before then. I like the idea of making more videos because it actually makes me more accounted for, you know, like it helps me motivate myself to finish this. I mean, obviously I don't want to sit there and have a half completed car and never finish it, but so it helps me light the fire under my butt is what I'm trying to say. So I got a lot of stuff to do in here, a lot of cleaning, like a lot of dust from the body shop. So anyway, that is going to be it from me. I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you guys are keeping a safe distance away from people. Cover your coughs, wash your hands, do all the stuff you need to do to not spread this coronavirus. So you guys have a good night. I'll see you later.